don't mow, I think, until almost June. We just embrace the dandelions. We love them. We think our lawn looks beautiful with the dandelions, so we're fine with them. We don't do any pesticides on the property at all, so it's all natural. Ed and I both grew up in the Finger Lakes, and we've lived on the lake for almost 15 years now, and we're very grateful that we get to live on the lake, and we never take it for granted how beautiful it is. So we purchased it, I think, in 2016, and before we even had plans for a house, we decided to protect the trees and have the house fit into the landscape versus demolishing all the trees and then building a house and trying to landscape afterwards. So we went to a great deal of trouble to protect the trees. We put construction fences around all the trees and made sure that nobody parked near the trees, which is really difficult during construction. We hired an arborist who came and marked all of our trees, and I think we saved pretty much all the oaks on the property. So there is one 100-year-old oak tree that was in the way of my husband having a 3-car garage. So much to his dismay, we have a 2-car garage, but we have a beautiful oak tree right next to it, which will be here for hopefully another 100 years. We definitely live on a hill, and there's grass right into the water, so it slopes all the way down. And during some of these rainstorms, we've just had a tremendous amount of water flow into the lake, carrying in mulch and whatnot. So a couple years ago when we finished construction, a lot of the grass was matted down the lawn that we never even thought we were going to be able to grow grass. So we introduced microclover to the property. It doesn't need as much water as regular grass. It's taken over the whole lawn mostly, and we love the microclover. We weren't going to start with any construction until we had some people in place. So we started with an arborist, and we learned about planting native plants and protecting the birds and the bees and the butterflies with fruits and flowers and blossoms. So little by little, we just kept choosing people who believed in taking care of the lake, that had lived on the lake or knew somebody who lived on a lake and understood the importance of taking care of it. It's important for all of us to keep it clean. So when we started building our house, we looked for a local masonry company. And so we were introduced by many, many people to Flad Creative Stone. And they did our patios and our driveway and our chimneys. And they just did such a beautiful job to always make sure that the drainage down our driveway, which is a hill, that the water ran off to the sides and into gullies and not directly into the water. And Bob Flad's daughter, Gabrielle, suggested that we put in a rain garden, which a lot of our gutters empty into this rain garden. And it's beautiful by the side of our house too. So we love all the work that she's done for us.
Because when people hear rain garden, they think it's going to be like a pond a lot of the time. Yeah. So I grew up in Canandaigua, on Canandaigua Lake. I spent every summer in the lake, and I moved away to California for 10 years after college to learn about sustainable design and be involved in the green building industry. And when I moved back to Canandaigua, I really noticed a really big change in the water quality and character of the lake, and has really been the kind of the driving force behind the work that I do. And it's a consideration in every project. We have the oak leaf hydrangeas, sweet fern, which isn't really it's not really a fern, it's more of a deciduous shrub. When there's water in the pipe, it creates pressure and it pops up. Rain gardens are a fantastic way to infiltrate stormwater, filter water, promote biodiversity, create habitat for pollinators and birds, and really protect Canandaigua Lake. I would say we definitely need to get the word out about rain gardens. One small rain garden can retain between 15,000 and 20,000 gallons of water a year. It's a small scale thing that if a lot of people do is going to make a big impact. To start a rain garden project, the first thing you would want to do is figure out how much water you're going to be dealing with. It's called your catchment area. It's a roof or a driveway, the area of that in square feet. Then you would multiply that by the rainfall, and you multiply that by what's called a runoff coefficient, is how permeable that surface is. So most roofs, driveways, they're not permeable, so it's a runoff coefficient of 0.9. So you multiply the square feet by the inches in rainfall by the runoff coefficient, and that gives you a cubic feet of water. And you multiply that by 0.62, which gives you gallons. Anyone can basically figure out, okay, I have 10,000 gallons that's going to fall, or, it's probably more like 2,000 gallons in a big storm could potentially fall off a roof. And then from that, you can figure out the size that a basin needs to be to hold however much water you're trying to hold. Permeable surfaces instead of hardscape is another really easy way to reduce stormwater runoff and improve the quality of the water. Here we did a grass paved driveway, which is a combination of grass strips with paving where the tires are going to go. So that grass paved driveway reduced the hardscape of the driveway by 50%. When selecting plants for the rain garden, first thing I like to do is look at the local kind of ecosystem. So we want to use native plants, but we also want to use kind of like site-specific native plants. There are a handful of good native nurseries. If you have a small property and you want to know where to start, your association has an awesome rain barrel workshop, which I would recommend anybody taking. I got a rain barrel, and I know that saves us several thousand gallons of water a year. Probably most important, I think, things that a homeowner or someone that's doing a project can do is to keep the existing mature trees on site that they have. I recommend clients keep their lawn to the areas where they really need to use lawn, but your whole property does not need to be a lawn. That's just a lot of work, a lot of maintenance. Grass does not do a whole lot for infiltrating or filtering water as compared to shrubs and plants and trees and stuff like that. So a homeowner that really doesn't mind, digging a hole and doing some piping, they could do their own.
The Shills did their homework and took time to consider the landscape before they began construction. I'm not sure that's a practice many people around the lake consider, but it's really important for protecting biodiversity and water quality. We'd like to thank Ed and Molly Schill for opening up their home and beautiful yard to us, allowing us to walk around and share some of the things that they've done. Really remarkable things, but easy to do at your own house, one yard at a time. And special thanks to Gabrielle Flad for sharing her knowledge and all the resources. As a landscape architect, she's really knowledgeable, and we would encourage everyone to seek this type of advice before you begin either a construction, remodel, or a major project at your home or yard. Thank you all for watching. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Canandaigua Lake Watershed for lake-friendly tips, or visit our website to read our Lake Friendly Living Guide and take the Lake Friendly Living Pledge.